Hey folks, Dennis Moulton aka GotBot back for another video review. This one's a little bit fitting. We just got news, if you've been keeping in touch with what's going on, of third-party company GotBot doing a version of the Beast Wars Neo unproduced UNICRON figure. Well, how does this guy stack up? We're about to find out when we review Transfomers Supreme Class UNICRON. You know, I heard that this guy likes his planets the same way I like my hamburgers. Plenty of bacon, plenty of cheese. But no pickles. Oh yeah, pickles. I hate pickles. Those things are gross. Okay folks, welcome back. I said in the introduction that we're going to review this guy in light of the news of an updated third-party version coming out. Does this guy still stack up? The mold's been used a few times. This is the Armada version. If we look at the other times he's been used, he was used in an Energon version that had a lot more black and green detailing. He was used later on again in the 25th anniversary with a lot more silver and orange that was reminiscent of his appearance in Transformers the movie. He's covered in minicon ports if you're into minicons. I'm not really into minicons, but I'll cover the couple that came with him. I got this guy off eBay. I can't remember the seller's name, but it was a great deal, especially for aftermarket prices, and he was 100% complete. I could not turn it down. And I got these couple of minicons with him. This guy, High Wire, you split his legs, you put them down, and these things become his feet. You have to unpeg this arm, and then you bring his arms down. His arms are on ball joints. They will go all the way around. There is no elbow or anything else really. Ball joints down on his legs, but the kibble back here of these tires kind of hinder his leg movement, and this is what you get. Okay. And I got this minicon, this futuristic skateboard. Anyway, you flip down a leg, you flip down another leg. No articulation besides that, by the way. No knees, no real hips. They splay out about that far. And then you take the top and bring it down, and the arms down. No more articulation than that for Grindor. Okay. I don't really get minicons. I never saw the point of them. I didn't even have this guy facing the right way. I never saw the point of them, you know. Okay, head sculpt, but no articulation, no anything. I'm not a fan, but hey, if you're into minicons, well, bonus for you. You just got a couple of quickie reviews. Hey, go mad. On to the main event. Does this guy still stack up as a worthwhile figure, as a worthwhile representation of Unicron? Well, first things first, he comes with his own minicon. This is the version known as Dead End. Naturally, I don't use the name Dead End because of the Stunticons. But in subsequent versions, he was named Bug and he was named Kranix. Kranix, of course, a reference to a survivor from the first planet that the Chaos Bringer eats in Transformers the movie. How does this guy transform? You flip up his gun, pretty much, and you flip out, if I can do it, you flip out his legs. We have him kind of coming apart. Flip his legs all the way down. Fold them all the way down and put his little feeties up and turn them like that. Bottom part of his body is done. The arms come up around, flip forward, and you turn the gun and bring the arm all the way down. Just like that. Flip this side up. bring the arm all the way down just like that, and here you go. Limited articulation, of course, a bit of movement here on the arm. The gun moves. He does have knees, amazingly. He does have a foot pivot, I guess you could call it. Again, I don't really see the point. I don't know if I'm missing the point of these minicons. He's supposed to be a moon for Unicron. If you're into minicons, great. I rarely use him. Sometimes, you know, I'll set him up in front just as a harbinger of Unicron. You know, how big is Unicron himself in planet mode? Well, you know what, folks? Here is Leader Class Jetfire behind him. And he's pretty much dwarfed. And just as another point of comparison, here is modern day Deluxe Class. This is Hotspot. You know what? He really would have made a great Ironhide. I wonder what kind of a Ratchet he could be. We'll talk about that another time. Let's stick with the main event. In planet mode, Unicron is not exactly spherical because of the bottom down here. But he is pretty good. He is pretty good. You're certainly not going to mistake him for anything other than a planet. Naturally, his resting state is like this. You can flip him up like this. And we all know, based on the movie, that he should be all the way up like this. Naturally, far more difficult because of his ring. You can always weight him in the front, weight him in the back, and he'll look fantastic. In this mode, you can see a number of planetary details in the top. Obviously, in molds where this is not translucent and more silver or even black with the green detailing, this stands out even more, no doubt. But it's beautiful molding all the same. And this guy's covered in it. Covered in beautiful molding. Look, beautiful molding here on the side as well. Fantastic. Gimmicks in this mode. Well, his pinchers in front squeeze together as if they're gripping a planet, and his gaping maw will chew. And if you want to use the minicons, you can stick them in a minicon port located right here, and it will fire the 3 missiles. Ideally, one at a time. My gimmick doesn't really work well for that, and all 3 of them fire at once, and they fire quite a distance. There's a lot of spring loadedness in here. I look at him on the shelf. I know it's Unicron. I'm very, very happy. I see no reason to replace him in planet mode. Would a bigger planet really be necessary? Look at him in my hands. Look at the size of him in my hands. Do I really need a planet that is 2 to 3 times bigger? I don't know. Let's see as we learn more about this new product that we are starting to get news on now. For now, I still like his size. His size really does it for me. Let's look at transformation. Oh, by the way, as always, we're going to measure him with you know, the usual measures of paint apps, posability, playability, and of course, transformation. For paint apps, again, it depends on the mold. For this particular mold, I love the use of the purple right here. I love the use of the orange on his arms. I even actually like the translucence of this plastic and being able to see the parts inside. It just helps build that mechanical world look to me. Paint apps in this mode and robot mode, I'm going to tell you now, he's getting an 8. And he's getting an 8 largely because they're excellent. If you're a fan of the Unicron trilogy, of Armada, hey, he's probably going to score even higher. Because I'm a G1 fan mostly, I would have liked to have seen paint apps a little bit different. Truth is, if this was the 25th anniversary mold, his paint apps would be getting a 10. So either way, high score for paint apps. Obviously in this mode, no real posability other than these things. I'll save the posability mark for when we get into robot mode. In the meantime, let's move into transformation. First place to start, split his ring there, split his ring there, pull it out, split his ring here, split his ring here and pull it out. Down bottom, you can split his feet and get the ring out all together. Fantastic. You can even straighten out these two pieces and fold it up. Straighten out these two pieces and fold it up. Wonderful. Now we start to get into the trickiness of handling him. It is well known that these two pieces of dome are very tricky and tend to fall off. On camera I may have them fall off. We will see, but I'm going to try not to. We split that and we bring it out over his horn. We bring it out over his horn. We have that much done. The head, we can go ahead and flip up now, even though a lot of people like to save the epic head reveal for the end. For our purposes, that works. Twist up the horns and there's Unicron's head. No posability in his head, largely because of that gimmick where his eyes blink. If you can see it. Right there. Eyes blinking. Here is his chest. His arms are folded down right here for now. Let's move him back. And we will move these pieces of dome out of the way. We will split his arms. And with these pieces of dome out of the way, you should be able to lift the arm up and attach it right here. It should. Maybe I don't have that piece of dome quite out of the way enough. There we go. Now that piece of dome is out of the way on this side. And we flip the arm up and you just heard it click in. Same thing on the other side. We twist this piece of dome to make sure that it is out of the way. And you just saw I lost a piece of dome there. We twist this up. As for the piece of dome that I lost over here, I will reattach it shortly. His legs, we unattach from the back and fold them down and fold them down all the way. His feet, we flip forward just like this. We continue to push his feet all the way back and we turn the toe piece. Foot all the way back and turn the toe piece. These leg pieces we twist and we twist. And I told you that my missiles didn't quite work right. Now you're seeing as one of them comes out there. And he is getting quite large indeed. Quite large indeed. So we will adjust the camera. Now with the camera adjusted, we can twist down his arm, turn it, open it, flip out Unicron's wrist, bring out his fingers, all of which are posable by the way. Thumb poses in and out, each finger individually articulated at the palm and then at the first knuckle. All of them articulated at the palm and the first knuckle. We flip this down. And we extend his shoulder. As for that piece that came off earlier, I can take the time to reattach it now. I will lay him down for a second to show you this, by the way. There is a gap right here. There's a little black piece on his back that this fits over. I don't know if it's the age of the mold or my butterfingered use of his transformation that just caused this to come off, but nevertheless it did. And getting it back on can indeed be a pain. But I am endeavoring to do just that. Alright, back on. We take the planet pieces and they need to go folded in on the back, and this one will go folded in on top of it. Really, you're kind of free to do what you like here with these pieces. I personally like to angle them up if I can, which is sometimes easier said than done. Extend this shoulder, turn this arm around, open things up, take out this fist. This fist is just like this fist in terms of articulation at all of the fingers. I mean, he can, you know, he can do the rock symbol. He could give you the finger if you were into that. This hand also lights up if I show that off. Another one of his features. And behold, in robot mode, we have UNICRON. Transformation, because of these pieces up top, which could result in a bit of parts forming, his transformation I'm going to have to give about a 7 to. It's great going from planet to robot, except for those pieces. The rest of it, not too bad. I'll give a 7 for his transformation. Gimmicks in this mode, well, again, the leg pieces, they could turn. You could use a minicon here on the side and fire the same missiles yet again if you wanted to. There are minicon ports up on his shoulder. If you wanted to put a minicon up there, hey, there's no reason why you couldn't. You know, hey, go for it. Go for it. Again, if you want to talk about how big this guy is in robot mode, well, let's look at him with a couple of molds that are currently pretty well known. Here he is with a modern day deluxe again, and he's huge compared to our good buddy and stand-in first aid here. What about something bigger? And we go back to Jetfire. Obviously, when you're comparing the size of UNICRON to any other Transformer, he should be vastly enormous. But we have to keep in mind the limitations of toy construction, and he needs to still be handleable, even if he is a planet. I would say that this scale is good because he is still certainly smaller than the imposing UNICRON. You could take his minicon buddy, and there is a minicon port. See if I can show this to you. There's a minicon port back right here. That minicon port is there for a reason. That minicon port is there for a very specific reason. You take your minicon buddy, being this guy. I'm calling him Kranix. You can call him Dead End or Bug, whatever. You push it in, and boom, the chest opens and fires this god-awful, ugly little thing that you can just fold up and stick back in, and never ever ever use again. The version of Unicron that was black and green still had this. The 25th anniversary version still had this. So far, paint apps an 8, maybe even 8.5, depending on your affinity. I'm saying an 8. Transformation, I'm saying a 7 because of those back pieces that fall off. Posability, I already told you that the head does not move. Limitation. These shoulders go out, go down. Let's see if I can get a good grip on them. The shoulders go forward and back. Of course, that being said, these planet pieces can be a bit of a stubborn hindrance, so you need to be careful of that. Elbows, 90 degree, bicep swivel, wrist articulation. I already mentioned all of these fingers individually articulated, which is absolutely beautiful for gripping, for, you know, ominous, oh, I'm casting a Unicron-y spell on you type of posing. The thumb, it goes in and out as well. In terms of waist, there is waist articulation for him. In terms of thighs, he can open quite wide. I could keep going because his hip skirts come up and allow that. But there are big spaces in between the ratchets. I will say that. Either he's standing up very straight, or he is, you know, really kind of going to fall. There is a swivel below the knee, which I find very interesting. And, of course, there's a nice 90-degree knee bend right there. The feet, the toe can pivot forward, the heel can pivot backward and forward. There is no ankle tilt, and his feet are, like, where do you go to buy shoes for that? So posability, playability. That being said, his materials are really sturdy. Once you get him standing, he stands like a champ. Posability, playability, I'm again giving an 8 to. The only thing is these planet pieces on his back and his shoulders. They can be a bit of a pain. If you could put a peg through it, hey, put a peg through it. I'm not going through that trouble. And I usually keep him in planet mode as it is. So how does he stack up? Well, we don't know yet, because we don't have the, you know, the third-party figure out yet. But I can say this, that as a standalone figure, from originally produced in 2003, and this is 2016, folks, 13 years later, his score is still an 8 for paint apps, an 8 for posability, playability, a 7 for transformation. You know what? Let's give the paint apps even an 8.5. Overall, this figure is still an 8, and I got him aftermarket prices for less than $100. You do the math. Plus, do you really, again, you can see, do you really need a Unicron that's bigger yet again? That's your call. For me, he still fits the bill. Would I suggest picking him up if you get the chance? Definitely. Do you see him around very often now? No. But if you get the chance, snag the Chaos Bringer. You will not regret it. Anyway, folks, that's about it for Unicron. What can I say? Be good to yourself, be good to each other, and take care, folks. Until next time.